The views and opinions expressed on This Can't Be Adulting are solely those of the host and do not represent or reflect the views of any individual, organization, employer, or entity we may be affiliated with. The content of this podcast is for informational and entertainment purposes only. Listener discretion is advised. Yo, welcome to This Can't Be Adulting, the podcast where two guys who probably should have it all figured out absolutely don't.
Careers, money, relationships. No one handed us a manual, so we're figuring it out the only way we know how, with real talk, deep dives, and a whole lot of laughs.
I'm Herb.
And I'm Derek. And if you're out here wondering, am I doing this right? Trust us, you're not alone.
So hit play, relax, and let's figure this out together. Yo, welcome back to This Can't Be Adulting podcast, season 2, episode 10.
Might as well call this season the technical difficulty season.
Take 2.
Take 3, 4. I don't even fucking know. I mean, we've always had technical difficulties.
That's fair.
But with recording, we haven't had that many technical difficulties as we do now.
Yeah. We get to the point where a lot of our storage is becoming full, so now we're...
Yeah, but even that, like, we're deleting shit off the card.
I know, but it's just, we're trying to, like, compensate for, like, having, like, the storage being full, so now we're trying to figure out different avenues of, like, being able to record it.
We are...
And not the right way, might I ask. As two people who work in tech, and you specifically come from a storage background, so
storage cabinets, bro. What you talking about, dog?
Right.
This can't be podcasting, bro. That should be the name of our new podcast.
Yo, this can't be it.
I just had to check real quick, make sure that we Gucci out here, dog.
Hey, welcome back.
Hey,
and we dropping on their ass.
Oh, apparently
dropping on their back, like Jordan in the 90s.
We trying to.
Yeah.
We definitely we've switched some things up a little bit with respects to the division of labor.
Yeah.
In here. I mean, what are your thoughts on that so far?
I think it's KYP.
KYP.
Know your personnel. So this is what you got to do. Everybody got a job, and everybody can't do every job. And you need to know what you're good at and what you're not good at, and that's what we got to do. KYP.
I like that because it's true, and not to say that I'm particularly strong in what it is that I'm being tasked to do now, but I'm a little bit more consistent.
Yeah,
for lack of a better word.
Active.
So the way Herb and I had set up the division of labor before was we would alternate with editing the podcast. So
Correct.
1 week I would do the editing. And now that we have an Instagram page and a social media thing, what I had suggested was the week that one of us, whoever is editing the podcast, will be the week they're responsible for all the posts on Instagram. That's what we agreed to.
Yes.
We were like, yeah, let's do it.
Yep.
And before that, we agreed to this is how often we should post. This is the type of things that we should post, blase. Herb struggled a little bit in that department.
Damn.
Herb struggled.
Needless to say.
Just as much as I struggle with the editing.
Needless to say.
In all fairness, just as much as I struggle with the editing.
Again, KYP, we got our strengths.
The final product always came out, but the amount of times that I would have to FaceTime Herb when editing, like, yo, dog, I don't know what's going on here, dog. You need to walk me through this. It's a little more than...
And the times Derek has to be like, all right, so like there's no post, huh? I got you, bro. It's coming. Hey, bro.
So what did we finally decide to do?
We landed on, I'll be doing the editing.
It's me again, you know.
And Derek is going to be doing the socials.
Yeah. So it makes it easier. Herb's like, I feel more comfortable just editing on a weekly basis. Editing to me is the bane of my existence. I can't stand it.
I like it.
You like it enough, I'm sure.
Yeah. Over posting.
And me, even though I haven't been on Instagram a lot recently, rather, it's like I never left. I got my boy. Shout out to my boy Manny, who's always like, bro, just get your regular Instagram back, bro. Stop fucking hitting me up on this shit. And I'm like, yeah. So we got a nice little cadence going.
We got something. We're working.
It's working.
Let us know how y'all been enjoying it this week.
Yeah, and I'm learning with the Instagram. I'm learning how to get the post better. It'll take me some time.
I'm trying to learn how to incorporate more sound effects and things into the editing more. So we both are. We're gonna now that we divide and conquer. We're gonna lean on our strengths.
We are.
And that's what you ladies and gentlemen are going to get.
That's what you ladies and gentlemen
That's called adulting right there.
That is called adulting right there.
Compromise, adulting. I don't even know what you guys are doing.
Communication.
That's what I mean.
That's a tough one for her, bro.
What happened was my phone sometimes. And how about this? Here it is. I'm sure some of you guys struggle from this. Sometimes, not even sometimes, most times I want to have the perfect response. And at times, I don't have the perfect response at the time. Thus, it gets no response. And then that builds. And then next thing you know, it's been like 2-3 days. And like, well, I can't respond now because it's not even relevant anymore. So that's what kind of adulting can be sometimes. Let me know if you guys suffer from this.
I totally get that. I also think that in the moment you overthink it and it doesn't need a perfect response, and then you don't think about it at all. You go 0 to 100. You're 100. I'm overthinking it. Oh my god! And then you forget about it, and then it's just I'm not even thinking about it at all.
Like,
it's like oh, boom,
we're off the cliff. It's the ramp and then the cliff.
Hey, like we always say, don't let perfection be the enemy of good.
That is it. That is it. But if you when you're graduating. If you came out of college, I would say in the 2000, in times like mid 2000s to 2010, when somebody asks you what your weakness is, what do you say? I'm a perfectionist.
Yeah.
I'm a perfectionist.
You still say that in interviews, dog.
I'm a perfectionist.
Perfect.
Yeah, sometimes they're just really struggling with working with other people who don't just value perfection like I do.
I'm too hard on myself. Oh my Lord. You fucking play the book. Corporate America, baby. Corporate America.
But
up in that hole.
Now, as we get to the episode today, I think it would even tie in a little bit with the corporate America.
Yeah, it ties into it.
Just adulting overall.
Well, there's some overlapping with that as well. Mm-hmm. And this is, also a bit of a continuation of one of our first episodes we ever did, season 1, episode 3.
I think it's one of the core topics that even brought this podcast together.
Talking about everything about money.
Yeah.
And so what we wanted to touch on today a little bit was specifically adult investments and taxes. And how they correlate and why this came up was I text her, but I said, we're in the middle of tax season. Taxes just passed, even though some of y'all I know haven't done your taxes yet and you're late. You're so late. And so I was like, this is a good idea to just talk a little bit about it because Herb had brought up adult investments in general. And again, I think this is what sparked the idea of the podcast is like, how do you adult? Like, what does that even mean? And like, what am I supposed to be investing in from a monetary perspective? Like, how does that all even work? And I think we can lay in some overlap in just like expenses and things that we have to pay for that we just didn't realize was a thing before. Like you don't realize like shit, I gotta pay for insurance for this shit.
Dude,
like
healthcare is crazy.
Yeah.
And
so
crazier.
I think all that ties into it. We are not finance experts. So this episode might be all over the place with the shit that we're talking about. But again, it's just a conversation about how little we probably don't know.
Absolutely. And again, at the beginning of the episode, it was a disclaimer. The views and opinions on This Can't Be Adulting podcast are solely those of myself. And Derek, I'm glad you said this, set this up for everyone. I could be totally wrong about anything I say today. I'm just letting you know right now. So it's up to you guys to do the fact checking.
No, it's the same, please.
Y'all do the fact checking.
I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on.
But it is important that we learn something.
True to the structure of the podcast, though.
Yeah.
Let's go back. Let's go back.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of what my first vivid memory, or like what my first learnings was about, like when you become an adult, here are some of the things you have to handle from an investment perspective. And so I have to mull that over, even though we've been talking about this episode, but I'm trying to think about it. But what do you have in mind? What comes to mind for you when did you first, if ever, start talking about adult investments?
Not until I was essentially working where we met.
Yeah.
Because that was the first time I was really contributing to a 401k. I was actually getting benefits. I've heard of like these FSAs and HSAs and all these other A's that they got out there. So it was like the first time like working like a corporate job where I had like these corporate benefits that a lot of people in America.
Okay, so if that started around 2012, 2013.
So I was 27.
So at that age, how did you define adult investments?
Oh, if you somebody saying something like adult investment,
at that age.
Stocks.
That's what it was.
Stocks.
Okay.
And maybe some real estate people did some things on the real estate, but really just stocks. If you just said somebody doing some adult investing, it'd have been stocks.
Has that changed today?
Yeah, absolutely. There's so many different. Yeah, now okay. I understand it's a lot of different ways to invest outside of just stocks. I mean, that's one way to do it.
Right.
But I mean, whether that is looking at
fine art. Let me find out this dude fucking invested in a fucking Picasso.
There
you
you
invested
go.
in NFTs and crypto, bro?
Hey man, I got what is it, a baby? What was the one that was going on? The ape. When the NFTs were strong, wasn't it
Oh yeah, I
a
know what you're
bad
talking
ape
about.
or bar or something, whatever it was.
Yeah,
I got a couple. I paid a few mil for
this
it.
fucking guy.
Trying to get them off right now, so
Try to load them off in this economy.
Well,
This how old we be sounding right now, man.
yeah, right.
So you's out here learning about this in about 2012, 2013. Is it just because of the people that we were around?
Yeah, I kind of think like growing up, like my parents, like they 401ks weren't a thing when they were like as in the 90s when we were growing. I think there was something that was starting to slowly be introduced towards the end of the 90s, but my parents one worked for the government and the other one worked for Union Pacific. So they wasn't. My mom, I guess she does have 401k. She eventually did get a 401k, but my dad just had like a pension that he drew from. So he was a union worker. So that's it wasn't like a 401k. It was just more so on pensions, and that's what I was understood like growing up was like part of even getting a good job was like, man, if you can get a union job, that's a great thing. But the investment part was all on contributing to whatever it was at the company that provided for you, and then whatever it is you contributed into Social Security. That's what you were expected to retire on.
That's what you were expected to retire on. Yeah, no, I find that interesting because similar to you, as I was getting older, talking about adult investments, that was never a conversation that was had by my parents, and I don't think my parents knew much about adult investment. And again, this goes back and touches on our money conversation. There's going to be a lot of overlap with what we talked about in that money conversation. But the biggest lesson my dad gave me was just don't have debt, right? Don't have debt. And that brings up on all the conversation. Another, particularly, I would actually consider this a level of investment. I don't mean an investment in the sense like, again, like stocks or even real estate, but I'm talking about just an investment in yourself, in your financial future is credit.
Yeah.
I think like a lot of people, I talk to people, I know someone in my life now who was never had a credit card. And they're 28 years old. And that's no shot at them, but it's more of like, if you're not taught that, then you don't know. And I didn't know back then either. Like my dad didn't really tell me. He didn't really tell me either. Nobody told me that credit is so fucking important.
Yes.
So fucking important. Now, we all know it's a fucking scam, right? I understand that. But like, it is important for you to be able to purchase a house.
Yeah, absolutely. You gotta
which
have it.
is one of the largest adult investments that I learned as I got older.
That part
was something that was needed.
Yeah.
But even back then, my parents weren't like, "Oh, you need to buy a house because it's an investment." They were just like, "You need to buy a house because you want a house."
Yeah, you just want to have a house. You never heard about like home equity. And things like that. So
never heard about that shit.
Yeah, that wasn't taught to me at all.
It wasn't taught to me at all.
So that was just I mean, even just growing up, I'm just thinking of like people around me. Like the biggest thing that anybody really was taught was like, oh, whenever you get paid, like put away $20, put away $100, and just keep it in your savings, and that was it. Yeah. But it was never like invest here, make these smart investments. Here's how you invest with life insurance. You can use life insurance as an investment. Here's how you invest through. Here's what the HSA is, and like understanding what that actually means as far as investments and stuff. And so it was just never. Again, I was just ignorant. I just never knew these things didn't exist.
And there's still so much shit that I don't know.
Oh, absolutely.
There's still so much shit that I
still don't know how my HSA works.
Yeah, I don't even understand that either. Our HSA, I still don't.
I be contributing, but I don't know how. I can pull up a little app and it'll tell me how much you got in there, but I don't know. I don't know how to use it.
Yeah. Yo, this is the real talk that we're talking about. And like, well, I'm not afraid to admit this shit that I don't know about financially. Like, I'm 40 and I don't know a lot of shit. I know some friends that are fucking gurus. Don't get me wrong. But to your point, when I was younger, when I thought of investments, all I thought was the stock market.
That was it.
Stock market. Oh, it's just investing in the stock market. And you don't understand that there's so many different ways to diversify your investments. To your point, all right, you can have stocks, right?
Yeah.
So you can invest money into companies that are on the New York Stock Exchange, Dow Jones, the S&P, like whatever. Invest in those companies. And there's a level of that. Those are publicly traded companies. But another thing I didn't know that you can do that, I don't know how many, mostly it's people that have big bucks that can do this, but you can also invest in small startups now.
Yeah.
That's not investing in the public trade, the stock exchange. Yeah. That's completely different. That's not something that I knew about until I got older.
Oh, yeah, like private equity.
Yeah, like private equity. Like, I have two of my boys. Let me say two. One of them was my really good boy. One of them was acquaintance. One of the dudes that we used to work with. Years ago, they invested in a restaurant in San Diego. They were like, yo, we know a cat trying to open up a restaurant in San Diego. He's looking for people to invest in him anywhere between 10K and 20K. And they both threw down 20K. And they was like in their 20s. They was making decent money at the company worked at. But like, that was an investment.
Yeah.
Like that I never even grew up knowing that could be a thing.
Yep. Yeah.
Like, it was something crazy. One of the things that I learned too, as I got older about was investing in rare metals. So I bought gold several years ago.
Yeah.
I bought like $6,000 worth of gold or some shit like that.
I was trying to figure out why you had that vault down here, but anyway, let's keep going.
I do have a fucking safe. I bought a safe after I bought that gold, bro. And I bought rare coins, and I bought a bunch of rare coins.
Yeah.
And the minute that I bought the rare coins went up 100%. Yeah. They haven't gone up since then. They went up 100% 6 months later, and they haven't gone up in 7 years. But the idea is that in 25, 30, 35 years, they'll definitely be worth something.
Yes.
The gold, I ended up having to sell back because I lost my job.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't lose my job. I quit my job, and I was like...
But did you come out ahead on it?
I didn't. I lost $700.
Really?
Yeah, because I bought it for 6 G's, and I sold it for like 5,200 or something like that.
Then how long did you have it for?
I only had it for like a year.
Okay.
It's probably like a year. That was all it was.
Yeah.
But now gold is rocking it because when the economy's down, gold goes up.
Yes.
But the economy was super up back then because it was right before it broke after COVID. They're like around 2021, 2022 when it really crashed.
Yep.
That type of a thing. Like gold was not worth much because the economy was kind of decent at the time.
Yeah.
And so these are all, again, things that I just didn't know about.
Even like talking about commodity investments, like when you like, oh yeah, I bought. Even when I used to watch the commercials growing up, you like to hear like the capital something like some gold capital commercial. I could hear growing up. When they were saying like invest in gold, I didn't know that they actually meant you're literally buying gold bars.
Gold, yeah,
like you buying
bars of gold.
Tangible, gold. Yeah, and it's like even then I didn't even fathom that, or even like, whether it's silver, gold, whatever, either any of these commodities. Like now you have to find a place to like store these things. Like it just growing up, you don't. I mean, I guess when do you feel those things you could have learned or maybe
I think those are things that we should all not try to learn. Listen, you're a kid, but I think junior high, high school. Yeah, I feel like financial literacy is such a big deal, and if you know how I feel about capitalism. I don't have a great relationship with full-blown capitalism that we're in right now. I think capitalism is needed, but most of us are like, we're in the system. We got to figure it out. So I'm trying to figure out how to be, survive within the system. If that's the case, if you want to be full in surviving the system, you got to learn about investments. And I think you should learn about that shit junior high, high school. I'll give you an example of another investment that I didn't even realize was an investment at the time. Again, not something I did, but I have a really good friend who makes a lot of money now. I've talked about him before on this podcast. He's in sales. He's crushing it, millions. But he had that mentality from a young age because his dad was a real estate agent. Okay. So he worked with his dad as a realtor selling houses. And I guess he understood that. One of the things that he ended up investing in without even knowing, because as a kid, you're not thinking this. You just want to rock these. He was buying Jordans. Yeah. He was buying every Jordan whenever they came out. He never wore them. He had 25 pairs of Jordans in his closet. 25 pairs of Jordans in his closet, right? Something like that. He ended up selling them like 10 years later for like 40 G's or something like that. And he did this from the age of 12 until he was 18. So having that mentality.
Yeah, like, oh, I'm going to buy these.
I'm not going to, how we were kids. I'm rocking these J's,
They coming out the store on me.
All day, bro. No way I'm thinking about it.
Put them old shoes in that box and let's go. But I feel you.
He had that mentality from a young age. It's no wonder why he's fucking banking now. It's no wonder why he's banking.
It's not an accident. Like, investing, money, finances, it's a learned skill. Like it ain't some inherent. People are just good with money, or people just learn how to make money. People, of course, people are born into money. Yeah, and I mean, unfortunately, we have somebody with that right now. But it's not something that you just inherently know. This is a skill. This is something that has to be taught. And unfortunately, I mean, we're 40-year-old adults, and we still haven't been taught. I would even consider to be like base level financial economics and things like that, especially when it comes to investing. Because if you look at it at this age, like I look at it back then, like, man, if I didn't just invested this here, like small amounts, compound interest and all that, like it could have been a large amount at this age. Now it's like starting, at this age and then starting trying to invest and prepare for like, shit, bro, at 62, you got 22 years. You better get it all in right now. So it's like,
it's crazy, bro. And that's, we talk about this all the time. But there's a reason why the wealthy stay wealthy and their kids stay wealthy, and they build generational wealth because they teach kids about money. And there's a reason why they don't teach us financial literacy in school. Absolutely. We go back to education. Our education episode is because they just want us to be good worker bees.
Absolutely.
They need people to work for them. And even that's becoming obsolete because who knows what AI is going to do, right? Hey. You know what I mean? Herb AI over here. Hey, this is the AI version. He's the avatar, dog.
It's not even me, right?
It's not even him. I don't even know, kid. He didn't even dap me up when he got into the house. Didn't even say hi to me.
It's a glitch in the system.
Hey, bro. How do I know you're the real Herb? I don't know. Anyways. But like that's real talk right there. You know what I'm saying? That's definitely real talk. You know, one of the things, again, we talked about this in our finance episode or our money episode too. We'll just call this part 2 essentially. But like one thing that we get taught to save money. Like, oh, it's all about savings. And it's like, yo, bro, savings ain't going to do shit for you if your money don't have any compound interest, if your money's not investing in the market in some way, shape, or form.
Save $20, put it in a savings account. That's good, but that ain't the best.
You ain't retiring with that shit.
Yes. Yep.
It wasn't until very recently that I realized, that I learned from a friend, and it's like I had heard about it, but I never made moves. Like, yo, open up a high yield savings account. Open up a high yield savings account. Your money's sitting in a savings account at Bank of America. They're making money off you, but you got no interest building in there. So I put money in my high yield savings account. It started off at 5%. Now it's at 3.5% because the banks change the interest rate all the time based off of how good and how bad the economy's doing. It's actually based off of inflation. So if the inflation rate's higher, the interest rate is higher. But when the inflation rate drops, the interest rate drops. It's kind of fucked up. But anyway, now I'm sitting at 3.5%. And granted, it's not that much now, especially now that I'm not fully employed. But you know, it was growing a little bit. And it's more about if you do it over 10, 15, 20 years.
That compound.
And I think about it like, bro, I just went a whole 20 years without doing that. Yeah. What if I would have done that shit for 20 years? I would have been in a completely different boat. But I didn't know. That's an investment.
Yeah, but you don't. It's back to the we don't know what we don't know. I guess looking at it this way, if you were to have kids, you know, how would you go about teaching them then? What do you vision that as?
Look, there's certain conversations that I can certainly have like this, you and I, but I'd honestly have them talk to somebody that knows more than I do. You know, like a friend that probably knows more than I do type of a thing. I have my own financial advisor, but, you know, my financial advisor is, you know, he's got to get his too, you know. So I take what he says with a grain of salt. I take the meetings that I am with a grain of salt because at the end of the day, he wants me to give him a shit ton of money so he can invest for me. I got that money on top of me. Right. So, you know, from a young age, it'd be like having these conversations at the very least because you don't want to overload kids. Right. And I think it's also maybe teaching them, be like, hey, you know, if you get a job, let's put 10% of that away and just throw it into investment and play with it and see what's good. So you can start learning. Yeah. So you maybe start understanding how the markets might work a little bit type of a thing, right? Yeah. Because that's what I started doing too. The other thing I started doing when I opened up a high yield savings account, I opened up my own brokerage account. Yep. My own brokerage account is you throw your money in there and it plays. You don't need a financial advisor for that. Like
you heard day trading.
That was the other thing too. It's like we knew that investments growing up was the stock exchange, but like, how do you even get into that? How do I even find out? And before you had to call a stock, like a broker to like get you in there.
Wall Street type stuff.
Yeah, exactly. That's all I ever thought it was. Yeah. And now it's mighty accessible. Now you've got fucking Robinhood. Fuck them. But like,
E-Trade.
Yeah, you got anything. I just use Betterment. Okay. Betterment's one of my like favorite things. That's where I have my high yield savings account, and that's where I have my brokerage account, and they just invested right there. Yo, I was making bank off of my brokerage account. Oh, I was throwing mad money in there. It was doing really fucking well. Okay, I had like a 12% rate of return.
Shit, man.
That was pretty fucking good.
This can't be adulting podcast about to turn into Derek financial advice. Derek the stock trader over here.
How do you think I'm fucking surviving right now off a part-time job? Well, my brokerage account right now. I got to pull money out, so it ain't doing that well anymore.
I thought you had set that OnlyFans up.
Okay. Nah. Okay. But like these are all things that are super important. But I've been talking a lot. What you thinking?
No, I think that you hit on something like it's things we wish we would have learned growing up. And I envision that, if once I had kids or if I have a family, this is something I would want to implement with them early on. And when you talk about the brokerage account, let them play around with it like in junior high and high school. Let them start buying stocks and things like that. And I'm not talking about like to make money or like to make these large investments, but just let them play $100 here or there just to see so that they can see how it works. And then once they get into, their professional careers, then they would have an understanding. This wouldn't be new to them. This would be something that they've learned and they would have an understanding. The same way that, you have friends that was taught this growing up, and it's not a coincidence that, they're doing well with their investments. So I think it's just something we learned at an early age. And nowadays with the technology, with the information at our hands, I think, and we over here preaching, we ain't got no kids, but I think it is important that, parents have these conversations with their youth and let them get started at a young age. I think Warren Buffett talks about, he got started at a very young age. As a teenager, just trading stocks. But again, he didn't get rich then, but he just learned in the game. You talked about capitalism and it being a game in the system, and we trying to figure out how the system works, how this game works. This goes a long way in playing that game and understanding the system. And if you learn at a young age, you can make those mistakes, you can make those bold moves, you can do things, take those risks, and set yourself up to be 40, and maybe you be a trust fund.
Yeah, I would also take I would take a tempered approach too, because for me it's more about financial liberty than it is about just being filthy rich.
Yes.
The minute you start thinking, then you start taking, making choices, then it turns into a gamble. And in all investments there's a gamble to it, sure. But then it starts turning into a real big gamble. And then you start, there's people, I've got some friends that have lost some crazy money.
I don't want to say that's wrong, that's negative either. If you can take those gambles and you set yourself up to be able to take those gambles, then that's okay.
I'm actually talking about more of the act of gambling. Like, people start treating it like the act of gambling.
Yeah.
Like, it is a gamble, but then you start turning to, and then it starts turning into, it can turn into something adverse when you're making dicey decisions.
Yeah, you're not making literate or educated financial decisions. Or things like that. And
it's also for the wrong reasons. If you're just doing it because I just got to go be rich, so I'm gonna go. You start. A lot of people were doing that with like Robinhood when people start. I started having people like that was like, I just threw $5,000 on this fucking stock right here that I think is fucking good, and maybe $5,000 didn't break them, but it's like, hey man, like now you just out here trying to get rich quick type of a thing.
Yes,
sure. Completely understood, but I don't want to delve into that too much anymore. Like, I don't want to delve into that piece too much, but I think one of the big things, one of the largest adult investment that I knew earlier than anything else, not when I was younger, but like the sooner one, was the real estate, the house, right? The house. So I bought a house here because once I started really, that's an investment, like, because you got equity in the house. And like, what is equity? Equity essentially means once you buy your house is one of the few assets out there, right? So an asset is something that you own that puts money in your pocket. That appreciates. Yep. A liability is something that takes money out of your pocket. Like, so for example, if you're renting an apartment, that's technically a liability because it's taking money out of your pockets. Correct. Now, you can argue, well, it's got a roof over my head, sure, but I'm talking about from a just strictly financial standpoint.
Liability,
it's taking money out of your pocket. A house supposedly is an asset, right? Because an house supposedly is one of the few assets that actually appreciates. Yeah. For example, your car, rarely an asset. Unless you turn it into an antique, rarely an asset. It depreciates as soon as you get off the market.
Your Toyota Camry is
a liability. Yeah, it's a liability. You're paying for it, but blah, 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 the whole 9 yards. A boat, biggest liability ever. That shit depreciates like crazy. Yeah. That shit. So that's kind of the difference. With that said, having purchased a house, like, people don't tell you what goes into maintaining a fucking house. So I actually, now that I'm sitting here, this is my 8th year in my house, I'm really, because shit's starting to break down, shit's starting to get fixed, and I'm starting to think, and I'm like, man, no one actually told me that this is how it's gonna be. And if I knew now what I knew then, would I have still made the decision? Probably, but like with a lot more hesitation, because now it's just me, myself, and I in my house. And now shit to cost, especially in this economy, shit costs several $1,000s to fix. Like, I just had to fix my HVAC. HVAC is one of the biggest things. Bro, if your HVAC breaks, that's a $15,000 charge right there. I just had to have my roof replaced. I got a cover through homeowners insurance though, but my deductible was $6,000. That's crazy. Like, if I would have known that, I had to drop 6 G's out of pocket. Now, granted, finagle some shit with my roofing company. Don't worry about it. I had to pay a lot less. You know what I'm saying? But for all intents and purposes, my homeowner's insurance believes that I dropped $6,000 in the deductible. Yeah. That's a lot of money. Yeah. And if you're not prepared to invest in your house so that you can get the full equity out of it later when you sell it,
exactly,
then you're going to be put in a really rough spot. Yes. And so it takes even more money to maintain it. And I'll be honest with you, houses are mad expensive right now. And if you don't have the money to keep up with maintenance, I would recommend you just stay in a rental.
Yep.
Stay in an apartment. What are your thoughts?
No, I think you're absolutely right. Because I think that's one of the basic. I don't say basic. I think that's one of the first ways that once I start learning about investment, it was buy a house, and because houses are appreciate, and unlike a liability is going to depreciate. By the whole the standard, what everybody's taught about buying a home and investment. But then again, hearing homeowners and having friends like yourself and understanding like it's not just a one-time down payment and then the mortgage and that's the end of it.
Yeah.
Like no, it's like something breaks, I gotta fix it. The roof, like you said, your roof, the garage, plumbing, whatever, all these other things.
It's on you.
It's on you. And as you mentioned, if I want to get the full value out of my home or this investment, I got to keep up with those things.
I have to.
So it's kind of like those. Like I say, that was definitely understanding like what goes in that. But I will say, and you kind of mentioned as well, is that even though all those things going back on it, you still feel like buying a home is a great investment. But you do have to look at it, I guess, differently.
I wouldn't even say buying a home is a great investment right now. I would say it's a good investment.
Good investment. Okay, there we go.
Because I am stuck in this position. Because here's the reality: at the top of COVID,
yeah,
I could have sold my house, and I would have made my equity was at 100%.
You would have doubled. Yeah, okay.
I would have over doubled my shit.
Which is
at the height of COVID. That's crazy. And people were buying because everyone from California was coming here. If I would have known then that was not going to hold, and I should have known that COVID was going to drop it, bro, I would have made out like a bandit.
Right. And then
people were flocking out here from California and just, what? The house is worth $500,000? Bet I'll drop that shit. Yeah. Mind you, I bought my house for $205,000. Right. And my house at its peak was worth $498, according to Zelle. All intents and purposes, I probably would have been able to sell it for like $450
still
plus closing costs, all that. All right, we'll call it, bro, I would walk away with like $200K.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Now?
Yeah.
After that, house has been dropping. It's still too expensive for a lot of people, but like I'll still make money off of it. Don't get me wrong, but my house right now is probably like worth $290.
Damn, that's crazy.
Isn't that crazy that drop?
Goddamn.
That's crazy. $290 right now.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And so, like, would I still make money? I still make money because part of it too is that like I've already paid down some of it. Yes. So that's something you got to keep in mind. I've already paid down a significant good amount.
Not the same amount.
So cool. If I sell it, cool. But also the thing is, like, it's not a good market to sell. It's not a seller's market.
Yeah.
It's not a seller's market.
Right.
Like, ain't nobody buying houses right now.
Yeah.
And so it's worth $290. But would I actually be able to sell it for $290?
I mean,
that's the reality.
What somebody buy it for, right?
Right. You gonna sell it for somebody to buy it for. So you get put in the situation that even if I want to get out of it, because maybe I can't afford this shit.
Yeah, like I want to cash in on this investment. It ain't that easy as well. It's not like
selling
stock.
Yes, exactly. I can't just do it like that. Yeah. There's so many places. So again, it comes down to is it a good investment? Is it a great investment? I would argue, especially nowadays, it's not. Mm-hmm. I would argue it's a good investment if you want to keep onto it for long. But for example, our parents though, different story. Yes. Also, what part of the country you live in? My parents bought their house in January 2000 for $89,000. $89,000. They just sold it in June of 2025 for $430,000.
Dang.
They probably put in a good 50, 60K worth of fixes into it in over 25 years, which ain't much.
Yeah.
But they did some good shit. The house is nice.
Yeah.
They walked out like bandits because the house was already paid off for too. So they walked away with a check of $430,000.
So shit,
about $400,000. $400,000. They left out like bandits. And so great investment.
Yeah.
But we were living in different times.
Yes.
We're living in different times, different places.
Yeah, my parents bought our house in 1992 for $30,000. I feel like.
Damn, that's Arkansas prices.
Arkansas ranch, just a little ranch house for 3-bedroom ranch house.
How much do you think it's worth now?
Maybe like 150-ish, maybe.
Makes sense.
200 maybe max. I would say nothing crazy. I guess she's added on some stuff, but I would say maybe 150, 200 maybe.
Yeah, but that's still tripled.
What
they bought it for, you know what I'm saying? That's still good money that she could walk away with.
And even then, I was even thinking back to it. I remember them purchasing it, and I don't know if she's paid it off now. I'm sure they probably refinanced at some point, but like. So 92, and my dad at the time I was 7. He was like, "We're not gonna pay this off until you're 37 years old," and I was like, "What?" But like a 30-year mortgage, and I was like, dang, that seems like so crazy to me, like a 30-year mortgage. But now I hear people like trying to get down to 20, 15, or shoot it up to a 50-year mortgage. Like it's just like, even those types of things you're not even really taught as somebody first coming into the market. When I start looking for a home, like those things I'm having to learn, like, oh, what mortgage rate are you going to get?
Yeah, that's crazy. And then it's also, what's the interest rate?
Yeah, what's the interest rate?
And then it's also, if you're able to drop 20%, because if you pay 20% as a first homeowner buyer,
FHA or whatever.
Bro, I didn't have 20% for my house.
Yeah,
and I was a first time buyer.
Yeah.
So they don't know that you can pay shit off. They look at your credit like, oh, okay, you got good credit, cool. All right, you got some assets to back this, just in case. By assets, they meant my 401k, which again, another investment. That you just automatically jump. That was one thing that I learned about at work. Just throw money into your 401k. I was very thankful that my 401k has done great. Has done great. And so I do have that financial backing. But they were like, but you don't have 20%. So they gave me a PMI, which is a private mortgage insurance, which is an additional cost on top of your mortgage that they charge you on a monthly basis because they don't trust that you'll be able to pay everything off on time because you couldn't draw down 20%. It was crazy. It was only $60 a month and only lasted 2 years.
Okay.
So they're supposed to be 5 years.
Okay.
Or until you pay off 20%.
Oh, okay.
It lasted 2 years, and all of a sudden they dropped it, so I didn't have that 60. That was only extra $60 a month, but still.
Though, it's just like it's just money just feeding into the system.
Yeah, that was another almost $2,400 they stole from me.
Yeah.
Like, it's like it's all this weird thing. So,
I'm only gonna charge you more because I don't think you can pay it.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. It's just like to cover our asses. I'm like, with 65, I don't even know. But again, an adult investment, sure. But it needs to make sense for you.
Yes.
You need to maintain the yard. You need to maintain everything. You also don't realize that now you're paying your own electric bill, your own water bill. And I say that because a lot of apartments, some of them you do pay it on your own, but some of them it's just like
all inclusive,
the whole 9 yards. So
like one bill.
Maybe you don't have your own place. But like, if you don't want to worry about like, yo, my toilet broke.
When the light go, I can call somebody.
I call somebody. They come through because it's part of your rent.
Call somebody. They got to come through and get you.
So again, it's like, what type of life are you looking for, right? Like adult investment sounds all cute and shit, but like, what are you really looking for? I can't remember who this economist was, but I got to look him up. I was watching an interview with him where he was literally saying, he was like, a house investment isn't the best investment for people, for everyone. Like, you got to understand what lifestyle you want. If you really want a good investment, he's like, my daughter still lives in an apartment. She's 33. That money that she'd be putting down towards mortgage or towards a down payment, she puts it in another investment. She puts it in the, what was it called? The VRTX stock, which is one of the most consistently high performing outpacing stocks out there that I think year by year has a 12% annual growth rate, where I think the regular stock market is like 7 to 8%. This has a 12%. If I'm not mistaken, I'll look it up. I have it written down somewhere. VTX or VRTX. I'm botching it. Is it not coming up?
Let's see.
VRTX stock. Yeah. VRTX. Maybe that's no, that's a pharmaceutical company. I can't remember what it was. I'm saying it wrong. I apologize. I'll look it up and we'll put it up here. But he was like, yo, that's a 12% increase year over year. Consistently outperforms every year for the last 60 years.
Yeah.
Like, better throw your money in that. And over 30 years, you'll see a crazy return on your investment compared to putting a down payment on a house.
Well, I think that kind of goes with what we see from society as a whole, is that we've gone from a manufacturing, do-it-ourselves kind of culture here in America to service, as a service. And you see, like, if you work in corporate America, everything is as a service. Nowadays, it's almost like living as a service, basically you're lodging as a service. Instead of owning a home, it makes more sense to just rent and don't have to worry about all the maintenance and all the upkeep with owning the actual piece of home and then reinvesting that money somewhere else. Yeah, that's a great financial investment, but unfortunately, a lot of people are renting just because they can't buy a home.
Because they can't get a down payment.
Yeah.
They can't get a down payment.
Yeah. Or they can't get it, or approve for a mortgage, can't put the down payment on to get the mortgage to purchase a home. So yes. So that's I think it just goes back to the quicker you can learn these financial investments and understand the system and the money and things like that, then it sets you up to be better equipped to make a decision when it comes to, should I buy a home, or does renting make more sense? How much do I contribute to my 401k? What is a HSA? How do I even invest in stocks? Like, do I want to decide my own investments for?
Or do you want to have somebody else? Yeah.
Oh, it's like or other investments, life insurance, whatever it may be, things like that. So
and that's that's part of my investment too. I have a variable life insurance policy that counts as an investment, and I drop a pretty significant amount in there, and it goes and it plays against the stock market, and I have to pay into it this certain amount for about like 19 years, and then I'm done paying into it. Yep. And then my life insurance is fully fulfilled completely, and any money that I've made off of the market, I can then pull out whenever I want and use it for retirement, use it for whatever the case is. It's pretty impressive, and something that I never knew about until I got a financial advisor.
Yeah.
And to be quite frank with you, I still don't even know how it works fully. As you can see, the way I'm trying to explain it, it's a little difficult to understand. But like, yeah, there's that too. Which is, there's so many ways, so many things you could do to invest as an adult for financial freedom, financial liberty. I mean, one of the things, speaking about real estate, that we didn't talk about was just Airbnb, verbal.
Oh yeah,
all that
yes,
shit.
All that. Yes. Nowadays, like with there's so many different avenues, I guess you could say, that you can have for investing. How do you feel like people go about like at the end of the day, it's going to come down what's the right investment for you. But how do you even go about like, oh, I want to start investing? What do I do?
Listen to us. It's hard because we live in a world where there's a bunch of fake experts out there that want to tell you what to do on social media and want to tell you what the next hottest thing is to do. Example, crypto, NFTs, all that shit's a fucking sham. I'm telling you, that shit's gonna crash. Like, it's hard. I think you need to try to find somebody that you can trust. And I might not know who that person is necessarily, but like, I don't know. I don't know what the right answer is, to be honest with you, besides like finding like a mentor, like I said, or somebody that you can definitely, you feel is knowledgeable and that you can trust to just have these conversations with, and start there. But don't go online, and let me not say don't go online, you certainly got to do your research, but don't, take some fucking content guru's fucking advice who has an ulterior motive, who probably gets paid from you investing in this and
they
this. They
rented a mansion and a whole bunch of Bugattis out in front of Miami and made it look like this is how they live their life, and that's not the reality.
Don't do that shit.
Yeah.
Don't do that shit.
Yeah. I mean, it's almost like if you get started at a young age, and I know we mentioned this word a couple of times, compound interest, and Warren Buffett kind of speaks about it. Like, if you get started at a young age, just throw your money at the stock market, just based on the fact that we live in a capitalistic society, it has to go up. Like, that's the only way for it to continue to do is it only go up. Or the moment it goes down, it's going to crash. So you're safe if you can just afford to put something into the stock market, or I don't want to say stock market, but put some type of investment in at a young age. You don't have to make these wild, gambles, and you will be well to do at a lot younger age than you could imagine. Like, if we were to start investing in our 20s, although we're not making the same amount of money that we're making then, just imagine how you set up now at 40 compared to not doing it.
Yeah, it's because we didn't know. Yeah, so I think it's something early on something early on that you should seek after and ask questions.
Yeah, but that's something you gotta hope you got somebody. I say as adults, it should be something that we preach to the youth going forward. Like, that's something we should continue, not just telling them, but showing them. Like, don't just tell me about go invest and go this. Like, no, show it, pull it up, show me what are you talking about.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the issues that I think a lot of us as adults have, is that we're telling people to do things, but we're not doing those things. And it's like, how, as a youth, how can I comprehend something that you're telling me to do something that you don't even know how to do? And I think that's a hard thing as a youth growing up. So it's important for us that if we're going to be preaching these things, that we also practice some of these things so that we can also feed us.
Especially in communities of color. That's something that we lack.
Absolutely.
I want to give a big shout out to an old coworker of mine. His name is Joseph Yamwange. I'm probably butchering the last name. I apologize, Joe. But my boy, worked with him back in the day. One of like the smartest sales reps that we had. Absolutely killed it. Ended up going off to SHI for a little bit, AWS, killed it, top rep. He just started his own kind of like financial foundation type of a thing. He has his own company where he teaches financial literacy to a bunch of kids, and more importantly, he's teaching kids how to build generational wealth and be millionaires. Yes. Like that's his goal. Yeah. He's a millionaire.
Yeah.
And so it's just like crazy to see my boy Joe back in 2011 going out to the club with him and fucking partying to like what he's doing now.
Yeah.
But it's good work. Because he's doing with a lot of inner city kids. He's from New Jersey. He's doing it out there. So, like stuff like that, like it's out there. Like you can find some good, well-intentioned people.
Absolutely.
Who didn't have what, most people or a lot of people have in this country who have generational wealth, figured out the game, for lack of a better phrase, and is bestowing that knowledge upon the youth.
Now, let me ask you this one last thing is that what is a red flag that you can tell them, like, avoid this, or if you hear this, run fast as you can?
If someone's telling you to give you their money, to give them your money, and they will make you so rich, that's a red flag immediately. Don't listen to that shit. There is no easy fix. There is no simple button. There is no easy button to build wealth.
Yes,
it's just not the case. Yes, there's the stories of like the person who dropped $1,000 on crypto in 2011 before it was a thing on a whim. That's one in a
story of the people that won the lottery.
Yeah, 10 million,
50 million. To get rich.
Don't do that. If you come across someone that says, "Give me your money and I'll make you rich," that's a red flag. Don't do that.
Yeah,
that's a major red flag.
Yeah,
I promise you, because they're profiting off of you, but you're not going to get shit in return.
Yep. Oh yeah, absolutely. If it was that easy, how they're making it seem, then why they need your money?
Exactly.
Why would they need that?
Well, that's why they're preying on people, and that's how they get rich. It's like a pyramid scheme type of
Absolutely. That's why I'm glad you put that out there, because I was just thinking of, like, we hear, people, at the end of the day, people don't want to take it is something that does take time. It's not overnight. Investing isn't something that happens overnight. And I think that's the biggest thing. It's the hardest thing. Like, but until you take that first step, whether that's working out, that's just like working out or anything. Just take that first step and you'll continue to build and build and build.
We live in a world of instant gratification. That's the problem when it comes to everything. Yes. I know when I opened up my first brokerage account and my high yield savings account, and I had $0 in it, and I was like, well, I didn't have $0 in it because I moved all my savings into it, but I didn't have that much savings. I probably had like 3 or 4 G's or something like that. And I was just like, oh shit. But then I just stayed consistent with it and just put money into it every month, and every month turned into a year, and then turned into another year, and then all of a sudden, I ended up leaving my job, and I was like, okay, I got a decent little nest egg here. It's not enough to, retire, not even close. Still, though, but I was like, oh shit.
And up though, and even, like you say, I think that's just the biggest thing is understanding that it is an investment. It does take time, but it takes a little bit of time, but it doesn't take as long as you think. Or maybe the time will go by faster than you think it will. But definitely, like I say, look out for the get rich quick. I would say, or what would you say one of the biggest things for investing, or what's one of the big traits of investing that you need to have?
Big traits.
And the reason I ask, I think for this, like, is like discipline. Like at the end of the day, everything comes down to just being disciplined. Like,
and discipline is hard for a young mind.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I mean, look at us. Look at us in our 20s.
Yeah.
I mean, I've told you this story, bro. Like, in my 20s, and what was the one lesson that my dad taught me was, don't put yourself in debt. Don't carry any debt. And I did really good at it. I opened up my first credit card when I was 22, right before I went to DC. And he was like, use it, but only use it if you have money to pay off right away.
Yep.
Because the other thing they don't tell you about credit card companies, the way they make their money is by charging high interest rates.
Yes.
So people are like, oh, but they go, pay the minimum payment. It's fine. The interest rates are between 19 and 32%.
Yep.
That's the interest rate on a monthly basis.
Yeah.
Meaning that you're paying them 19 or 32% of what your balance is.
Yep.
If you haven't paid it all off.
Yes.
And so for a while, my credit cards, I was paying them off all the way. And then I moved out here, and the party's crazy. I went to Vegas for a weekend. I didn't have the cash, and I dropped 7 G's in Vegas on a credit card, on a brand new credit card. And then I kept dropping money when I came back. I ended up in $16,000 worth of debt.
Yeah.
All right. And I looked at it. My credit score went from like a 710 to it went from like a 800 to 699. And when I saw that it dropped 100 points, I said, nah, bro, I got to fucking figure this out. Now, luckily, I had investments in my company at the time because it was part of my benefits package. We will take 6% out and we'll invest it in our stock because it was still a publicly traded company before it got bought out by Dell. And so I had like 11 G's in there that I pulled out, paid it off, and I had a big commission check and I was able to pay it off right away. But I was like, never again. And since that time, that was February of 2017.
Okay.
February 2017. I went to Vegas in March of 2014. So for 3 years, I was carrying over $7,000 worth of debt on my credit cards. And I was just going out. I remember I was at my limit on my credit card. I probably had like $250 limit left. I remember I was on a Sunday. I was with your girl. It wasn't his girl at the time, but I was with her at West 6 on a Sunday. And I was like, man, I shouldn't be fucking going out and drinking. And then the drinks came and I was like, just put it on my credit card.
So many times.
Bro. 28, 29 years old, dog.
So many
like, you know what I mean? Like, there's just, I didn't think like that, bro. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't think like that. And it was like, so many times I'm like, man, at one point, I had like 25 G's in that stock. My company, so I had 25 G's. And then I pulled it all out because I wanted to go have fun. As opposed to like letting it compound and keep it bought. Like, it's just shit that I wish I was more disciplined, man.
Oh, yeah. I think we all... Again, it goes back to like saying that's why I think discipline is just one of the key things to investing and just in life in general. Like having that, just like understand, like, yo, I'm gonna do this no matter what, it's just the consistency and the discipline goes so long as opposed to being like, and it just it's in success in general. Like if you can be disciplined and you can be consistent, I think you can find success.
100%. We didn't even touch on taxes.
No, not at all. I just found I had looked up where I was in the bracket, bro. I'm about to get the biggest tax return I've ever gotten in my life.
Really? You made the most money this year?
Yeah.
And isn't that crazy?
Yeah, but I also look at it like, yeah. I mean, because like, bro, I just knew I was getting taxed throughout the year just based on what I was making and then what my gross was, and it was just like, man, that's crazy. Like almost like 25%, like a quarter of what I'm making, and it's like, man, it was just getting crazy to me. So yeah, like,
I mean, here's the deal. I don't have a problem with taxes. Taxes is the price we have to pay to have a working society.
I'm with it.
That's not what I'm worried about. But I understand. We all should know. If you listen to this, you should know that that's not. Stop letting people tell you that that's the issue. Yeah, we get taxed a lot. I get that. And our economy and our shit still doesn't work because they're still not collecting enough tax. And yes, you think that the government's spending it in a bad way, 100%. Like, the money that we invest in our military is crazy.
Yes.
Over $1 trillion.
Yes.
But the reality is that we don't collect enough taxes from the people that should be paying the most taxes.
All these loopholes and shit.
The billionaires, so they're loopholes, shit that we don't get taught. And that's how they build generational wealth too. Right? That's a level of investment
they say
too.
Stupid shit like, I didn't take a salary over the last 10 years.
Yeah,
but you got paid. You wasn't working for free.
Yeah, dog.
But if you don't even understand how these rich elite people are even making money and compensated, you hear something like that and be like, oh dang, how altruistic is that they don't even take a salary?
Yeah.
And you're like, but they getting 50, they're getting a $50 million package on their stock. Like,
exactly.
Like, come on, like what are you
even talking about? Like, Trump is only taking $1. It's like,
and you're only going to be taxed on the $1. That's your income tax. And it's like, oh, so that's why you're going to pay that high tax bracket at, but all this other investment stuff, we don't tax you on that.
You don't get taxed on investments. You don't get taxed on what's out sitting there. You only get taxed if you pull it out. There's capital gains tax.
Don't have a $50 million salary. Well, just have a $50 million salary and then pay the income tax like everybody else pays on their salaries, and that we can collect taxes that way.
Who's having this is California. I think is doing try to pass a bill on a one-time 5% tax on wealth itself. One time 5%. So that means if you lived in California as of January 1st, 2026, if this bill passed, all those billionaires need to pay 5% of what their wealth is. So if they're worth $200 billion, they got to pay 5%. Something like that. I might be botching it. And they're all up in panties about it. They're all screaming, oh my God. Bro, Jensen, who is the CEO of NVIDIA, for all of my shit talking about billionaires, because I don't think any of them are actually good people. But
it's so grossly when you understand what $1 billion is.
It's so ridiculous. Gross. And this guy's worth like $150 billion. But Jensen, when they talked to him about it, he was just like, I don't care. I don't care. So there's some billionaires that literally like, I don't give a shit.
Yeah, that's crazy that they're like,
It's not a big deal.
Like, okay, 5% off of I'm $100 billion. You're gonna take $5 billion. Damn, that's a whole lot of money. But I've got $95 billion left. Like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
Like,
they were doing an interview. I talk about this channel all the time. More Perfect Union. They do some great investigative journalism. They interviewed this billionaire who worked for BlackRock, who was an evil company, by the way. BlackRock in New York City. So take that with a grain of salt. But he's a billionaire. He was like, crazy New York guy. He's like, I'm a billionaire. I retired. I work for BlackRock. And I say, we got to tax the billionaires. And they interview him and he was like, we need to be taxed. He was like, none of us are going to even see the money. We're not even going to notice it. He's like, maybe my account balance is going to drop a little bit in this account here, but like, I don't care. Like, no one's going to see it. And everyone's like, well, why are billionaires fighting this so much? He was like, yo, it's literally a dick measuring contest for a lot of people. They really just want to be at the top. And anytime they lose any little bit of money, it hurts their feelings.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. And they don't want, and it's crazy to think, we keep going back to, I don't think we hear billionaires and it's almost become numb to us. We say that it's so casually. Oh, it's a billionaire. It's a billionaire. People don't understand how much a billion is, how large a billion is compared to a million.
It's crazy.
It's
crazy.
That's what's it's just the whole. I'm sure we done said this before, where someone's asking a million seconds is 11 days, and a billion seconds is 30 years. Come on, that right there should let you know the difference between a million and a billion. And yet we have people that have hundreds of billions. That is crazy.
They say that. They say that when I heard this week, Elon Musk's SpaceX company goes public, he'll be the first trillionaire.
Yeah,
that's $1 million. That's $1 million. I don't even know what to say, bro. It's fucking crazy.
For one person.
Yeah.
One living person. This person they don't live, they're not, it's not over the life, it's not 3 lifespans or 3 generations. This one person accumulated this amount of money in their lifespan.
And to say that everyone thinks they're a good person, he worked hard. Look, we talk about that.
It's 24 hours in a day. That's all you can work.
It's just market manipulation. It's power. It's concentrated. It's ruining fucking everybody, dog. Yeah. It's fucking crazy. Anyways, before we go off on the top of that, good conversation. Didn't really get to where I wanted to talk a little bit more about taxes, but
next time.
Yeah, next time we'll get there.
They're not going anywhere. Next time, they're not going anywhere.
Let's go into a little bit of a fun fact, bro. Okay. What you thinking, bro? You want to go first? Or should I go first? I can't remember who went first last time.
I don't recall, but let's see. So I tried to do mine on fun facts today around finances and stuff, and we talked a lot about the investing in stocks right now. We talked about Warren Buffett. A single share of the Berkshire Hathaway, which is what Warren Buffett's company is, a Class A stock. Do you know what that costs for one share of Class A Berkshire Hathaway stock?
I don't know, $45,000.
$700,000.
Oh, wow.
One stock, making it the most expensive single stock share in American history. And Warren Buffett, they've never split that stock.
No?
And he's done that on purpose. He just wanted to see how high to go.
Oh, so there's one stock. Who owns it? He does?
Yeah, it's the Berkshire Hathaway Class A stock. I don't really think you can get it. I think it's a tough stock. I don't know if it's publicly traded like it. I don't think you get the Class A. I think you may have to get a Class C or something like that.
Interesting.
But $700,000.
Okay, good fact to know. That's really cool because I know some of those crypto stocks like Bitcoin is went up to almost $180,000 per share or something like that, right?
Yeah, it got up to 100,000 and stuff, but I think it's back under now.
Imagine buying that shit in 2011 when it was worth $57 or some shit like that, bro. You're like, yeah, I'm gonna put $1,000 on this shit. How much money? A lot of people got filthy rich off that shit.
I mean, I'm sure some people got theirs.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Let's see, Bitcoin right now today is at about 76,000.
Damn, that's still crazy out there.
All-time high 126.
That's crazy. Fuck Bitcoin. Fuck all that crypto shit, man. That shit's going on there. That shit's all fucking ghost money right there. Tell me, it's ghost money. All right, I'm moving away from finance. I wanted to do something a little more fun, related to space again. I haven't done a little space thing in a while. Did you know that the days of the week English, Spanish, Latin are pretty much named after celestial bodies in our solar system. If you break it down.
No.
So I'll break it down for you.
Right.
So Monday or lunes.
Yeah.
Moon for Monday.
Yeah.
Luna for lunes.
Yeah.
So it's the moon. Tuesday or martes. Mars. Martes.
Oh.
Wednesday or miércoles. Mercury.
Oh,
Mercury.
See, I thought it was named after Woden. Odin, Norse god, Wednesday.
Well,
anyway,
there is some of that, but Mercury. But the planets are named after some.
All right, yeah. All right, I see where it's going here. Okay.
Then you got Thursday or jueves, Jueves, Jupiter.
Oh.
Jupiter. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Yo.
Friday or Venus. Venus.
Okay.
Yeah. Saturday, sábado, Saturday, Saturn. And then Sunday.
The sun.
The sun.
Damn, the sun.
The sun.
They didn't know about Pluto. And
yeah. Well, it's not even they didn't know. There's only 7 days of the week. So they pick something like that. But
damn. All right.
But yeah.
But it's all like Latin and Hispanic?
Latin.
Yeah,
It's a Latin language.
Yeah.
It's a Latin
language.
Yes.
Okay.
And actually, if you think about it, they have Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn. Those are the first 5 planets. So they have those in there.
Yeah.
And then they have the moon and the sun.
Yes.
So I believe when the weeks were all, they just went in order.
Yeah.
Kind of just went in order that way.
Yeah.
So
and then just added
So I found that interesting.
Started Sunday, then get the moon, then go to the planet.
Go
back around.
Yeah.
That's back. This is back when obviously the solar system revolved around the Earth.
Oh yes, absolutely. That's how. Yeah. You know that we got. All right, so we got for y'all today.
Yo, we did it.
There you go.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But at the end of the day, we got it done.
We got it done, man.
Yo.
This can't be adulting. Peace.